And one night, on my last cruise, I went for a wee at 2 o'clock, came out of the bathroom, and didn't make my bed. Didn't even wake my wife up. Incredible. I mean, we're in a room where there's just an outside window. This afternoon he came past on a road, cleaning the window for us. That's not safe, health and safety.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love the cruising. Like I said, it's just great for watching people. But yeah, so anyway, there I was at school, and we were doing the letter of the day. And this day was the letter N. The teacher said to me, "Stephen, why don't you tell the rest of the class something you're not very good at that begins with the letter N?" So I said, "Spelling." I'm over 40 years old and I've never used essential oils, which makes me wonder just how essential they really are. Maybe they should be called optional oils. It's up to you really, oils. But yeah, so we spoke to the Welsh. Is there anyone in from the northwest? Northwest of England, anybody? Yeah, I'm from the northwest of England. You can probably tell by my accent. Yeah, Patsy can. How much wine have you had, Patsy? 2 glasses. Okay, big glasses. No. Well, you might not recognise it from my accent, but I'm actually from a place called Netherton. Yeah, Patsy knows. If you don't know where Netherton is, it's in Bootle. If you don't know where Bootle is, you've obviously never seen Crime Watch. Just to give you some idea of what it's like living in Netherton, there was a guy on the news a couple of years ago who lived just up the road from me. And he was a mini digger driver, this guy, and he was working on a brand new travel lodge. And they hadn't paid him his Christmas bonus, and understandably he wasn't too happy about this. But instead of complaining to his manager or sending an email, he got on his mini digger and he drove it straight through the front door of this big glass foyer that they'd just built on the travel lodge. It was on the news, there's videos of it on YouTube. They said he did £400,000 worth of damage. £400,000. Now, I've stayed in a travel lodge. Doing this job, I've stayed in a few, but I don't think any of the ones I've stayed in, you could do £400,000 worth of damage. I mean, the carpets are probably a tenner. The televisions look like someone pulled them out of an Amazon landfill site 10 years ago.
Oh, mate.
So yeah, he'll be sat there now in a cold, damp cell on his hard, uncomfortable bed, thinking, well, it could be worse. I could be in a travel lodge. But no, it's great. It's great to be on holiday, isn't it? It's great to be all together in a room and doing stuff together again. Because we couldn't do that for like 18 months, and people say to me, "Oh, 18 months without any gigs. I bet you were writing loads of jokes though." No. I did some colouring, a few jigsaws, stared out of the window. It's like I was practicing for when I'm 80. I mean, I'm not saying I'm unlucky, but I broke my finger clapping for the NHS. I had to phone an ambulance. So at least I got a round of applause when they arrived. We had a Tesco delivery during lockdown, because that's how successful I am. And when it came, there were 13 substitutions. It was like an international friendly. I mean, they may as well have just given us somebody else's shopping.
I can see why now I might.
There you go. Do what you can with that. And for a while I worked from home. I'm not saying I took it too seriously, although every week I did have a fire drill. But one of my favourite things about lockdown, I used to love doing this. It was standing in a queue outside a supermarket for 45 minutes. Used to really enjoy that. And then when I got to the door and the security guard said, "You can go in now, mate," I'd say, "No, you're all right, thanks." I was just practicing. Sometimes when I go to the supermarket now, I like to take my 95-year-old mum with me, just so I can use a parent and child parking space. She doesn't complain. Well, she can't really, she's been dead for 3 years. I just carry her ashes in a pint glass with a Pringles lid on top, so she doesn't fall out when I go around corners. We had a charity leaflet through the door the other day, cash for kids, so I sold mine. Thank you. You know when you see an advert on television for charity and it says, "To donate £5, text GIVE to this number." Have you ever wondered what would happen if you text TAKE? You should try it. I got a brand new car at home, paid for by the Dogs Trust. It's a Rover, obviously. Thank you. Yeah. The other night I was talking to my wife. I said,
I told you.
"Where would you like to go on holiday?" She said, "Seychelles." So I said Shells, and that was the end of that. Last December, I was talking to some colleagues at work. I said, "What's your favourite Christmas carol?" And Carol said, 1987. I'm glad you came anyway. Swimming pool. That's a difficult game. I got soaked. Last week I went through a 24-hour drive-through in less than 5 minutes. Smashed that. Average speed cameras, they need to try a bit harder. You know when someone says something to you and then they say, "Touch wood," or they actually touch a piece of laminate? That proper winds me up, that. Well, then when I tell them it's not actually wood, they look at me as though I'm the weirdo. I remember during lockdown there was an advert on the radio asking for people to donate their antibodies. Obviously I had to dig her up first. The other night I was going into the kitchen to get a drink and my wife said she'd quite like a chilled tango. So I stood up and performed a Latin American dance in a nonchalant manner. I'm a part-time carer. Some of the time I care. Some of the time I don't. You know when you're watching a police drama on television and they say they found a concrete lead? It's the dog that I feel sorry for. The other night we were eating Doritos and my wife said she'd quite like a mild salsa. So I stood up and performed a Latin American dance in a nonchalant manner. I went on Amazon, I ordered a puppy starter kit. He sent me a male and a female dog. You know when you're at a training course and the person running the course says, "There's no such thing as a silly question." To me that's a challenge. Every coffee's a filter coffee if you forget to take your face mask off. Turns out that any salad can be a side salad. You just have to move it a bit. So the other day, I saw a post on social media. It said, I'm looking for someone to make a first birthday cake. So I sent her a message. I said, I've never made one before. She went nuts. I had to block her. I applied for a job at the local swimming pool. They asked me if I'd done any life saving. I said I've got £36 in an ISA. Is that you that keeps laughing? Thanks, keep it up. I once won a fancy dress competition dressed as a spreadsheet. I excelled myself that night. It's one for all you Microsoft Office fans out there. Word.
Very good. Word.
The other week I went to a local pub quiz. There wasn't a single question about local pubs. I spent months researching for that as well. They asked me if I could name the world's largest edible crab. I said, yeah. How about Brian? It's as good a name as any, isn't it, mate? Oh, it's not Brian, is it?
You should have seen what I
So the other week someone came up to me from work. I said, what are you doing this weekend? He said, I'm doing a park run. You know, they say it really aggressive, doing a park run. I said, all right. I said, if you're really serious about getting fit, mate, go and do a safari park run. I could guarantee you'll run faster. Last week I formed a plant hire company. I said, how much would 100 daffodils be for a day? Imagine if you bought a bottle of long life milk and died the next day. It's a motivational quote there that I use with my kids. I'm getting to the age now where the phrase, I'm delighted with another clean sheet, has got absolutely nothing to do with football. The other day my wife said she wanted to go to the garden centre. So I took her to the middle of the garden. I didn't really see the attraction myself. Just a lot of dead brown grass.
Garden centre.
So I was driving down the road the other day. I passed a cafe with a sign outside. It said, all day breakfast. I thought, I don't have time for that. When my youngest daughter was 4 years old, my wife told her never to speak to strange men. She hasn't said a word to me since. 22 now. My older daughter asked me if I could help her to sink her phone. So I put it in a bag with a brick and threw it in a river. For Valentine's Day, I sent my wife a card with what I thought was a very romantic message. It said, we've got to hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's a lot to love. We'll give it a shot. So anyway, we were going on holiday and the kids are in the car. Dad, how far is it? Dad, how long will we be? I said, whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa,
living on a prayer.
No, I didn't say that. I said we'll stop at the next service station and get a drink.
Oh, I
was driving down the road the other day. I saw a sign that said invisible pet fencing. I didn't buy any because I don't have an invisible pet. Or do I? I mean, How would I know? I could have had an invisible dog following me around for the last 6 months. Could be here tonight. Somewhere.
Somehow.
I saw another sign, it said 24-hour off license, and underneath it said open. I saw one that said kill your speed, not a cyclist. It's tempting though sometimes, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Especially when there's 25 of them riding 3 abreast. You're stuck behind thinking, I'm the only one paying any road tax here. I saw a sign that said drive through McDonald's. So I did. With £401,000 worth of damage. So there's a brand new travel lodge next door. Past the school that had a sign, it said family fun day. I thought there's 3 words that don't belong together. Thank you. Is there a satellite delay? I was outside school the other week. One of the other parents came up to me and asked me what year my daughter was in. I said, 2022. What year is your daughter in, you weirdo? I'm over 50 years old and I've never used essential oils, which makes me wonder just how essential they really are. Maybe they should be called optional oils. It's up to you really, oils. I'm thinking of switching my energy provider from Red Bull to Lucozade. I lost my job as a zookeeper, which I didn't think was fair, because there were signs everywhere saying, do not feed the animals. So I didn't. I used to work the night shift in a daycare centre. I was the only person there. For a while I worked for Lego. Team building days were incredible.
Shit.
I used to be a children's entertainer, not on purpose. I did hot air balloon modelling. By the time I blow one up, I blacked out 37 times. Everyone had gone home hours ago. One job I had, my boss told me to take annual leave, so I went on holiday for a year. Remember the day he came back? He called me into his office. I said, that's not my name. He said, Stephen, come into my office. He said, I need a quick word. I said, fast. He said, no. I said, speed. He said, no. I said, rush. He said, no. He said, you're fired. I said, that's 2 words. Last year I bought my wife an artificial leg for Christmas as a stocking filler.